Hi everyone and welcome back to the Spotlight series. In this month's episode we're spotlighting Mia Chen. Mia is a senior AML officer here at a French bank in the City of London. In her spotlight we're discussing everything business related, style, fashion, life. So definitely stick around because we're rolling the tape right now. Enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm now with Mia. Thank you so much for having us today. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I know. Miro always finds that question really odd. He's like, don't ask, like, how are you? It's like, you've already met, like, off, to ask it. But I think it's just a way of starting the conversation or whatever. But as I explained to you off camera, this section is the AJOSEPO jewelry edit. And essentially what it is that I curated some jewelry pieces, not knowing what you obviously have on today and whether those two concepts marry together or whether you're going to choose from this. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm just going to walk you through what I sort of curated. So obviously you sent us over your Q&A and I could see that you preferred more silver pieces, but you're trying to incorporate more gold jewelry.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So I thought, you know what, let me do like a mixture and see what you go for. So we pulled together some pieces from our collections. Here you obviously have like the necklaces, so from the gemstone and the troika, and also as well the bracelets. Mm-hmm. And here you have a combo of earrings and rings from the various sort of collections we have. And this is actually a new one that we're about to release shortly. It's called the Pantheon. So I'm going to sort of open the floor to you to choose what you would go for. But actually, before you do that, can you just run us through your outfit really quickly?
So I usually go for a very casual style.
Okay.
Especially on the weekends.
Okay.
And so I usually just throw on like a t-shirt. I quite like red color.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Usually, or like pink. Like,
oh, yeah. Pink and you red, I didn't know that you actually like that color.
Yeah, I do, especially in the summer. Like in the winter time, it's more like black or white.
Got it.
Like when it's nice and sunny.
I
like to be colorful. And then just normal jeans. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it.
So obviously I can see that you have like furry like slippers.
Yeah, I know. I like
so cute.
Furry slippers.
Like look at what I have as well. I love it. But if you were obviously sort of wearing this, would you wear heels or would you wear flats?
I would wear flats, usually trainers.
Trainers. And is there just easier to walk around? Obviously, it makes sense being in London. And where would you wear this if you were going out? Like, would you wear this if you were going shopping or if you were grabbing brunch or like, would you wear this in the evening, let's say?
I would probably put on like a hoodie in the evening. Okay. But during the day, like if I'm going shopping, if I'm meeting out with friends and stuff, then this is what I would usually go for.
Okay, cool. I like it. Where did you get your t-shirt from, if you don't mind me asking?
It's actually TK Maxx.
Oh, yeah. But like, I love that.
It's a little bear.
I know, it's so cute.
But it's kind of like a winter bear.
Yeah. So. Okay, cool. So I'm going to open it up for you to choose your jewelry, like what you go for and what you think would go with this outfit.
They're all super nice.
Thank you.
And I think, knowing me, preferring like silver jewelry, I do like the silver ones.
Okay.
And I'm like, every single day I go out and I always wear a ring. Okay. So I would probably go for this one.
Okay, so the memento ring.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you want to put it on?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all sort of...
Oh, so nice. So nice. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so nice. And then for me, I kind of put similar colors.
Okay.
So, I mean, since I've picked like a silver ring, I'd probably pick something like a silver bracelet as well.
Got it. So you never sort of mix and match your metals. You tend to stick to one.
Try once.
Okay.
But then I think I'm not used to it yet.
Got it.
So then I would always like put it on and be like, maybe I'll go back to the same colors.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Let me help you with this.
Okay.
Do you have a preference left or right hand?
I usually, so if I go to work, then I put it on my left hand. But then
is there
if I
a reason
go out,
for that?
Yeah, because usually if I write on my notepad, I use my right hand and I don't want it to like, damage my jewelry.
That makes sense.
But then when I go out, I put it on my right hand because I usually have a watch on
yeah.
my left hand.
No, that makes sense. Let me help you. Do you want a tighter or is that okay?
That's okay.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
I like it when it's like
dangling.
Yeah. And then in terms of earrings, I actually like the design of this. This is very nice. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's actually really hard. Can I pick all of them?
Imagine. Well,
I only have like one piercing.
You only have one hole?
Yeah. Like,
oh, wow. Oh,
yeah.
You know, I used to have like loads.
Yeah,
loads and loads.
I want to, but like, I don't know. Some people say it's quite painful to get them here. So I just thought, I'll wait on it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you get it initially, it does hurt. But after like a month or so, you like,
Pain for a month?
Yeah.
I'll think about it. Usually, say if I'm going out, usually I would pick this.
Okay.
But this looks really nice.
Do you want to go for that one? Let me. So it's just like that.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's so lovely.
I'm gonna put my hair back.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's lovely. You know, it's so funny. You sort of put it in between what Mia and I sort of go for. So when we got the sample from our manufacturer, the way you have it is the way Mia instinctively went for it in terms of wearing it, whereas I sort of went the midway point.
As in further.
Oh, exactly.
Right, okay.
So it's quite interesting because obviously there are two ways you can wear it. You can either wear it midway or you can push it so that the bowl sort of is against your ear in that way. But yeah, interesting. So this is what you would wear and this is what you would pick. Yeah. Very, very lovely. I like it.
I like it too.
Very nice. Would you sort of consider like stacking your rings or you would just go simple, you know, with a memento?
I usually go simple.
Got it.
Probably because I feel like my fingers are quite short.
No.
So sometimes when you like put it, I feel like for your fingers, for example, it's longer. So I feel like it's nicer when you stack them.
Okay.
But for me, because like I have limited space. So yeah.
No, but it's really lovely. I love that. Oh, yay. Okay, cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. You're going to obviously have it on for the other sections. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Hi everyone, I'm still with Mia Chen, but this time around we are sort of teasing out more sort of responses from a Q&A that she sent us over. I really loved your responses and I just want to tease out like more information because this is like the strategic bit of like the interview. So the cards that I have are from a deck of cards, a stack of cards that a friend of mine gifted me a while back. And they're supposed to sort of elicit more sort of inviting conversations. So we're going to marry those two sort of ideas, I suppose, together and see where it takes us. Okay. So in your answers, one of the responses that you provided to a question that I raised, like how do you maintain a good work-life balance? And essentially part of your response you stated is like what they say, you work to eat. You work to live, not live to work. And at the same time, work provides a sense of social purpose and responsibility. So I guess subconsciously, I'm always balancing the two without really having to think about it. And I thought that was a really great response, but you do it so effortlessly. And I just wondered whether you could provide us with a little bit of an idea of what measures you do take, just so that obviously we can learn from you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess for me, it's like time is very precious.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, like I don't really tend to think about it much.
Yeah.
But I guess it's more like if I'm put in a situation where I know that things needs to get done. So for example, at work, like by contract, it's probably 8 hours per day, let's say. Yeah. Forgetting like all the overtimes and whatever. But within that 8 hour, I know the amount of things that I need to do and I try and complete it within that time so I don't think about anything else that's outside of work during that time. And then that way, once that 8 hours has passed, I have my other like free time where I can like go out and meet friends and whatever. So I think that's how my mind works, where, you know, I know at this time where I need to be, what I need to do, so that once that time has passed, I don't have to think back about it. Okay. So you know how some people after work, they said they would probably think about it and be like, oh no, I haven't done this. I still got a load to do. But then they never really enjoy the moment because their mind is somewhere else. Yeah. So for me, like that's what I kind of try to do to balance. Okay.
Very interesting. And have you always had that like ability? Is that something that you had right from your, you know, start at your professional career? Or is this something that you consciously had to develop just to ensure that you got that balance?
I think, so I don't think I kind of had it when I was a student. Okay. You know, like uni life, you should study, you should go out and play, whatever. But yeah, I think it was more when I go into work and I observe the people around me. That's how, like, I see some of my managers, they do it that way, and I kind of just picked it up from there.
Okay, cool. So. Okay, great. And at work, do you sort of go into work with like a list of like tasks that you have to accomplish each day, or is it something that you just do organically?
No, I do go in with a list, but I mean, I don't write the list the day before.
Got it.
I usually write it the first thing when I arrive at work. Okay. So I would like set up everything, sit down with my notebook, and I would be like, okay, so today I need to do this. Okay. And then I enjoy that.
Yeah, ticking. That's really interesting. Like, why do you choose to sort of do it the day of as opposed to the day before?
I think is there a reason for it? Because sometimes you receive emails out of office hours. Got it. And I might have planned something the day before, but then the next day when I come in, I see a list of new stuff. And I'm like, nope, that plan's gone out the window. So I might as well just plan it when I see it.
Okay, so that way you're able to prioritize. Yes. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. That was really interesting because I just often wondered like what measures like people like utilize, because I think it's really important like professionally. I think that is one of the key things that you have to learn how to do, how to maintain a work-life balance so that you're not swallowed up by work. So it leads to the other question, which I think is equally important. How do you check in with yourself, you know, during the day?
What do you mean by
checking? At work, in terms of just checking in with yourself to ensure that, for instance, you're feeling like connected and present in the moment, or let's say, for instance, if you're having a tough day, like how do you sort of check in with yourself to ensure that, okay, like maybe perhaps reframing your mind, or like it's like, oh yeah, I, you know, had a really fantastic day and maybe I should sort of like celebrate, you know, in my head mentally. But do you check in with yourself at all, or do you just automatically run through the day and perhaps, you know, I guess on your way outside of work is when you check in, or during the day do you actually check in at all?
I would say probably around lunchtime.
Got it.
Like I'm always hungry at work. But I think it's when you have that break in the middle. And, you know, because it's also midday. So anything that happened in the morning, you kind of have a break to think about and kind of self-reflect, okay, what just happened? And whether I did a good job or not. And if I did do a good job, I'd probably go, well, we have a canteen downstairs, so I would go downstairs and probably like grab like a snack or like a small cake. And, you know, kind of like making myself happy. You know, so I think that's tend to be the time where I check in with myself. And then the next time would be when I'm out in the office.
And do you find that valuable when you do that? Do you think that it's something, a skill, I guess, that people should, you know, sort of utilize in terms of ensuring that their work is going seamlessly and just mentally, like they're okay? Do you think that it's something that people should?
I think it is important to have that time out.
Got it.
To kind of ask those kind of questions to yourself. But at the same time, I understand that people work differently.
Got it.
So it might be a good way for me to do this, but it might not be the right
necessarily
thing for someone else.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Got it. Okay. The third question that I have, and this is, so I'm going to actually preface this a little bit because I don't think I've ever asked you this, but it's something that I know that people that I worked with, they had brought up, essentially when they potentially started out in their career having imposter syndrome and like exercising or developing skill set to combat that. Whether it's by workshops, whether it's having the right mentors, whether it's talking with other colleagues to obviously overcome that. But I know that if somebody has that, it's potentially like a barrier to them progressing or developing. I wondered whether it was anything that you've ever suffered from, and if you did, what sort of measures did you take to combat that? This is not a got you type thing. The only reason why I asked that is that I've heard it so many times, like professionally, where even my last workplace, hearing it from people in like senior positions, it really took me aback because it's like I didn't know that people like ever like suffered from that at all. And even stepping outside of corporate work, I still hear that over and over again, where people sometimes feel like they're in a place, they got into a place, but then they somehow feel like, oh, maybe perhaps I'm not doing a fantastic job. But it's all in your head, like mentally, like all of this, it's all just in your head in that way. And I just wondered whether it's something you'd ever sort of experience at all. And if you did, maybe perhaps at the beginning stages of your career, what measures you took to combat that?
I think I've experienced that in every place that I've joined, to be honest. I think it's probably, for me, I feel like it's just how my mind works. Seeing that when I join a new workplace, and I see other people being so different from me, but it could be because they've been at the job for a very long time.
Agreed.
They're used to the environment, and for me it will take some time for me to get used to that. And in certain circumstances I do feel like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough, or is this place the right place for me? So what I tend to do is I observe and see how other people behave, like in meetings, or how they deal with certain projects, certain people at work. And I try to kind of do it in a way that's similar. So kind of like watch and learn. So like I see how they do it and I try to do it myself. At the same time, because of my work, I have to be very professional. I have to have the right professional knowledge. So then I try to get all sorts of resources. It could be from mentors, my boss, my colleagues, or just similar people who joined the workplace the same time as me, who might have experienced the same thing, and just kind of have that conversation, and slowly go from there. And then eventually, like, I know this sounds a bit, but it's a bit like, eventually you will get there. It's just, at the beginning, it's normal to feel that way. It's normal to feel like, oh, maybe I don't fit in. But these things takes time, and eventually it does, you will be fine.
I completely agree. I absolutely concur with that. I think it's something that I've always sort of relayed to people as well, because I think I've only felt this, if I'm being honest, once in my career, and that was the last place that I worked when I still worked corporate. And I think it was just because it was just so overwhelming. It was more global in scope. So it's like dealing with people that you wouldn't necessarily like deal with. And these were like people that were incredibly knowledgeable and they knew what they were talking about. But as you said, it's about like observing your environment.
Yeah.
And really, it's not about like changing yourself, but it's just about adapting to a culture, because I believe that every organization that you work for has a certain sort of language and culture, and you do have to, to a certain degree, embrace that. So I think that's definitely a key way of combating that. But I wondered what your answer was, or whether you had ever suffered from it. No, because I think it's very human. No matter how accomplished you are or how senior you are, it's something that you still, like, people still face. I've had people at board level where you literally see them, prepping, or like the first minute of them speaking, their voice shakes, or, that's definitely like a telltale sign. I don't think it's something that anybody ever sheds or loses. But it's always interesting to know what measures people take. We're human after all.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, next question. When was the last time you did something that took you outside of your comfort zone? So it doesn't necessarily have to be work related.
Go to a friend's birthday party. So I'm quite introverted.
Okay.
And I do prefer hanging out with people that I know, and I know that I'm going to be super comfortable with. Yeah. And it happens every time. It's like when one of my friends says, "Oh, I'm going to have a birthday party." But just so you know, all of my other friends, you probably don't know them. So then before I actually say yes, a lot of things will go on in my mind, and I'll just be like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, what should I say when I meet the new people? And for me, like that's when I actually have to step out and strike that conversation with the people that I don't know very well. So that's probably.
I can relate to that, because instinctively I'm deeply introverted, and it doesn't necessarily like show, because like whenever actually depends what mood you catch me. But when I'm really trying hard to sort of, just be comfortable with someone, to ensure, because sometimes I can be quite cold, but it's actually the introverted nature, because in my head I'm scrambling thinking, oh my God, what do I say to this person that I've never met?
Exactly.
But my facial features is like, ice cold queen, very reserved, very composed, all that. It's just like, no, if only I could like open my mind up so what's going on. But like literally, it's like, it's so like, I find it so difficult in new environments, because it's just like, what do I say? Do I say the wrong thing? And I'm Nigerian, so we talk really directly. And obviously we're in the UK, where it's a lot of indirect like words and conversations, and it's just like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. So I can relate. I can relate, honestly. Okay, next question. When was a time when fear of failure, rejection, stopped you from going after what you wanted?
I don't know.
Shall I just give you some context why I raised that question to you?
Yeah.
So part of your answers, you stated that you sort of reflected, I think it might have been recently, about when you started your career, and like, look how far you've come, right? And like you consciously try and help people just starting out. And I thought, let me sort of slide that in. And the reason is just because, especially because of AJOSEPO now, I'm exposed to a lot of younger people in their 20s. And I can literally see all the things that they want. They're quite open with what they want. But I can see where it's like a fear of rejection. Like some of the things that I've proposed for them to kickstart their career potentially, is like, oh, I don't want to do that. What if the person, because like one of the things I said to somebody that is about to graduate was like, why don't you reach out to the head of whatever via LinkedIn?
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, I can't do that. What if they, and I'm just like, oh, no, you just have to go after what you want, right? But I wondered whether somebody more accomplished like you are, whether you still experience that way. It's just like maybe perhaps like a fear, because we're human, we all experience that, where it's like a fear of rejection. It's just like, oh, I'm not going to do something because that might happen, where it's like the person doesn't respond, or they don't engage like the way I want them to?
I mean, it does, like that thought does creep up quite a lot.
Okay.
Especially in kind of my career as well. Sometimes I might see an opportunity and before I actually do something about it, inside my head, I would just be like, what if I do all the preparations and I still get rejected? Then, you know, it, like, I don't like the feeling of rejection. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you just have to keep telling yourself, if you don't try, you never know.
Agreed.
But it's easier said than done.
Yes, it is.
So yes, it does happen quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess you just have to constantly tell yourself, it's okay. Yeah. At least you've tried.
Yeah.
And the feeling of regretting not trying it is probably worse than the feeling of getting rejected.
That's actually true. So that's a very solid point.
So yeah, that's why I try to tell myself every single time before I tell myself, nah, maybe not, and then actually, will I regret this? So yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I think I used to be like that a lot when I was much younger, where it's just like, oh my God, if this person, do you understand? Like, oh, you know, fear of rejection. And it's something that I still suffer from. But as you said, it's something that I constantly have to tell myself every single day. You know what? If you don't try, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
First of all, nobody's a mind reader. I think that's what it is. I think individually we live in our bubbles where you think somebody knows what you want, or it's like, if you don't ask, nobody's going to like open the door for you. So I think the ability for the door to open should potentially supersede the fear of rejection. But as you said, it's something that you learn. And I guess it's experience, perhaps, that sort of teaches you, as opposed to, you know, here is a formula that you have to sort of utilize.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to keep trying.
Yeah.
And sometimes in situations where, you know, you first have that thought, oh, maybe I'll get rejected, so I won't try.
Yeah.
But then you tell yourself and you talk yourself into it, you actually did what you need to do.
Yeah.
And the person said, okay.
Yeah.
Then that feeling kind of grows on you.
Yes.
And you'll be like, oh, okay, well, it worked this time.
Yes.
Maybe it'll work next time.
Maybe it'll work next time. I love that. Okay, next question. What hardship from your past are you grateful for having experienced today?
What hardships? I think probably links back to the previous question. Like, the amount of times I've been rejected, especially when I first came out of uni looking for a job.
Oh my God.
Like, the amount of CVs, the amount of interviews I've done, and the amount of rejections is ridiculous. Like, it's probably over 100.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, it's quite disheartening at the time.
Yes.
But then you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I've been rejected once. Doesn't hurt to get rejected the second time, the third time, the fourth time. And then you eventually get used to it. And at the same time, you're learning the interviewing skills.
Yes.
You're learning how to, like, you know, enhance your CV.
Yeah.
And just by talking to the different kind of interviewers in different industries, you kind of learn more about the industry itself, the corporate itself. And I think that kind of opens your mindset. And for me, like, career-wise, I think that helped me quite a bit in terms of, you know, different people have different views, different ways of thinking, and, you know, it's normal. So I feel like from those rejections, I kind of gained the ability to be more open in a way. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does make sense. And to sort of chime in like a little bit, if we're sort of restricting it to just getting into an industry, I think it's a good way of you learning like your superpower really early on and looking for alternative ways that you can actually get into an industry. Because, for instance, if I think of myself, similar to you, it was loads of rejections, literally, like nobody was even like responding. And like I had to find an alternative way to get into the industry. And the way I did it was contact the HR departments.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I did. I contacted the HR departments directly, calling, emailing, like just things that I would never ever do. And as a result of doing that, it was like, oh, actually, you know what? You have such a, like, your way of approaching us is so different. And because of that, we actually want to give you an opportunity. And that's how I started out in my previous sort of industry. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't, I think hardships, whilst you're going through it, is so difficult and so painful. I think once you're out of it, it gives you like a skill set or a superpower that you never knew that you had before.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Ooh, this is this might be okay. What are 3 highlights in your life?
My 3 highlights?
Yep. So it's like flash, flash, flash.
Like flashbacks.
So if you can condense it to just 3 highlights.
Why are all your questions so hard? Okay. 3 highlights.
I know it's so difficult. When you think about it, maybe that question is unfair.
Which one do I pick? God. I don't know. My mind is
Blanking?
blank right now.
I could tell you one. Is that cheated?
Oh, highlights. Okay. I don't know. I need some help. I don't know.
Okay, you know what? I'll take it, right? So I'll tell you mine. Although I just thought about it now, just because I arranged the cards, I didn't think that I was going to answer this. But if I had to reduce it to 3, I would probably say 1, obviously starting AJOSEPO for obvious reasons. It's my baby and I love the direction that it's taken, and there are just so many possibilities. One of this is obviously having conversations with friends and actually getting to know them more. I would say second highlight would be when I got my PhD. It's still a huge highlight to me, even though I always forget that I have one. But the reason is not necessarily the degree itself. It's more of like the pains that I had to go through. I think that when I think back on all the experiences I've had in my life, that has to be the most painful period I've ever experienced. There was so many personal issues going on, and it was just a lot. And I was able to achieve it in less than 3 years, which I think is like remarkable. Number 3 is meeting Miro. Don't let your head get big, okay? but I would say number 3 is meeting him, and I think it's just because he is the polar opposite to myself, and like he sort of brings out a different side of me. I think with him, I've been able to grow and develop as a person. There's so many skill sets I've learned from him. I literally didn't. I would say that I didn't have street smarts before meeting him. Like literally, I was so cocooned and sheltered. I didn't know what the real like life was until I met him, and he was just so taken aback that, you know, you literally don't know all these things. But like I was honest, and I was just like I don't know, and I learned so much, and every single day I'm learning. So yeah, I would say you, baby.
Oh.
So number 3. There are obviously other more important, or, you know, yeah, I would say equally as important highlights, but if I had to choose 3, I would say those 3.
Right. Okay. My turn. I would say one of them would be probably not in my current role,
okay,
but in my previous role.
Okay.
It's not so much work related.
Okay.
It's when I signed up to be someone's mentor.
Oh, nice.
And it was just kind of, you get assigned someone who just joined the bank to sorry, I gave away my job. But anyway, and you kind of see kind of like the younger you joining a corporate and trying to figure out like their future career paths, trying to get used to the space. And for me, that's kind of quite I don't know, I enjoy kind of sharing my experience, especially with people who used to be, well, I think they used to be in the same kind of situation than I was. And when I was at that stage, if I had someone like me, I think I would probably, well, I hope I would have like an easier career path. So I would say that's probably one. I really enjoyed doing that.
I love that. Is that something that you do in your current role as well? Do you mentor other people or?
Not in a kind of structured manner. Like we do have mentoring and mentorship kind of program. But I am still quite new in a way that, but I think it's something that I would like to do going forward. So I would say that's probably one. The second one would be probably when I first started out. After graduation in my first job. And it was the Chinese New Year. And usually, you know, you get those red envelopes from like your grandparents that contains like cash and money. And for me, that was the first time when I actually have the money to give back to my parents, like as a Chinese New Year gift.
I remember you told me that.
So like for me it was a very like emotional, I'm gonna cry, but like emotional moment.
I remember now.
And third one, I guess it's probably just where I am right now.
I
like
love that.
In one of the answers that I've written to you, is just seeing how far like through that path from like start to now and where I am and what I'm able to do, like leading projects independently, leading a whole business line. Like for me, that's quite a big deal.
Of course,
right now. So I would say that's my third one.
I love those. Okay. Next question. Okay, this is a bit
Why are you gonna smile?
Okay, I'm going to preface this question a little bit.
Okay.
So, do you believe in sort of setting goals for yourself?
Yes.
You do? Okay, cool. And why?
I think setting goals for yourself, it's for me, it's a foundation to be successful.
Got it.
It's kind of like, this is where I want to be. And it helps you plan the steps to get there.
Got it.
I mean, it might be different for everybody, but for me, it's like I love planning. So if I know where kind of like the end goal or the end result is, I can at least plan the mini steps, because sometimes when you look at the goal itself, or if you don't have a goal, you kind of don't know where you're going and you kind of have to try out like various different paths. But it's just easier if you see where you're going, know where you need to go, and then you kind of do like baby steps.
A mind map.
Kind of like. But mine is more of a straight line. Like, yes, I do deviate, but you do have a line somewhere, so you don't go like this way, that way.
And do you do that only professionally or personally as well?
No, I do it personally
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it leads me to my next question. And you can obviously sort of be as open as you want, you know, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. So what goals do you have for the rest of the year? Like visualizing the rest of 2025? You can keep it as vague as you want as well.
I think in terms of career, or
it can be anything. Or both.
So I think career-wise, I do want to kind of expand my knowledge. That's kind of outside of my remit right now. I just want to kind of have that well-roundedness.
Okay.
Rather than just focusing on what I'm doing right now.
Got it.
And in terms of life, general life-wise, probably travel to as many places as I can before the end of the year.
Oh yeah, like honestly. I second you on that one. Like seriously, I could do with a holiday right now.
Yeah, like go to somewhere new, like I've never been before, experience the culture. You know,
if you could go somewhere, travel to somewhere, where would it be?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
I'd love to go Hawaii.
That's so funny. That's actually one of the responses we got. Really? Hawaii. I think the Brits are going to invade Hawaii 2025, 2026. Okay. Next question. What is your most valuable skill?
I think it's the ability to stay positive most of the time.
I love that.
Most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time. I think since I was little, whenever I get upset, angry, sad, I seem to have that ability to kind of talk to myself.
Okay.
And after about 5 to 10 minutes, this might seem crazy, but like after 5 to 10 minutes, I can kind of get rid of that kind of negative thought and just be myself again.
That's really good. Yeah. Because I mean, not only like, if I was even isolating the personal like relationship we have professionally, I think that's highly useful. Because I think if you want to succeed in any sort of work environment, having a positive attitude or being known to have a positive attitude, I think is much better than even actually having the experience of the skill set to be able to navigate your career.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is networking and relationships that you have with people. And, you know, you spend about 80% of your time at work. Having positive people around, I think, is a better way of going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a good skill set to have. And last but not least, the last question, what do you love to do?
I love to sleep.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that.
Too honest.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I love to sleep. How many hours are we talking?
Well, I would love to sleep for 10 hours.
Okay.
I think for me, that's like
Ideal.
The best
Yeah.
time. But obviously...
Yeah. But how many hours you, like,
roughly,
average?
6 to 8.
Okay. 8 is good. 6?
I try too, but it's because of the traveling
of course.
to work and stuff.
Yeah.
So probably between 6 to 8.
Yeah.
But ideally 10. Or 12, like, maybe.
12 hours. Check on her. But yeah, thank you so much. Those are all the questions that I had in this round. We're going to move on to the next section now. Hi everyone, we're still with Mia, and this time in the section we're playing Vogue's 73 questions. I curated only 20 questions. Are you good to go?
Good.
Yeah? Okay, first question. Describe yourself in a hashtag.
Do I have a time limit on this?
1, 2, 3.
Cute.
Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. We're gonna keep that, and I agree. Okay, 2. I already actually know your response to this, but I'm gonna ask: heels or flats?
Flats.
Yeah, definitely. Right, London. Do you actually wear heels outside of London, or is it just
depend on the occasion?
Okay, got it.
Like to weddings.
Yeah.
Heels.
Okay, who is your style icon?
Ooh. I don't just have one. I have multiple.
Okay.
But they're all
Korean
actresses.
Yeah, roll out.
So, I mean, there's this actress that I really, really like.
Okay.
Her name is Suzy.
Okay.
She's quite famous in Korea.
Okay.
And she's super beautiful.
Okay.
But her normal casual style is very casual as well. So she looks confident but comfortable at the same time.
Yeah,
so I would say
that.
I'd pick her.
Yeah, I love that. Timeless fashion, I think, is like literally
definitely.
that. Okay. Favorite app?
Spotify.
Oh my god, I was thinking that. Definitely as well for me. Do you do music or do you do more podcasts?
More music, but I do listen to podcasts. So when I'm doing like housework, cleaning, and I do podcasts. But traveling, music.
Music, definitely. Okay, what's your secret talent?
Oh, secret talent. I would say maybe dancing.
Oh, yes.
Not many people know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, I forgot. Oh, my God. Yeah, you can dance. Oh, my God. Yeah, I remember. Oh, that's so amazing. Watching you. Like, do you still do that or?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I will one day start again.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, superpower you would want.
Stay invisible.
Oh, I love that. Why? How?
Just so that if I do anything that's a bit awkward, I could just like...
Just imagine that. It's like, just imagine. Do you know how freaked out people will be?
What did I just see?
I wasn't there. Okay. Next question. If you were a song, what would the title be? Oh, she mad. That'll be why.
A song title. Unpredictable.
Ooh, I love that. I'm gonna ask you why. Oh, I love that though.
I think it. I don't
because there's a lot of predictability in the sense that like, not like predictability in that way, but like, you're dependable. You like. So
it depends on my mood.
Oh, okay. So I've not seen that side. I hope to never see that side.
You never know. One day.
Okay, if you had a tattoo, where would it be? Actually, would you get a tattoo? And if you could, where would it be?
I probably wouldn't get a tattoo because it sounded painful.
It's actually not, you know.
Really?
It's not. It's just scratchy.
But like, then,
just scratchy.
My mood changes. So then I might pick something and then 5 years later I was like, oh, I want something else.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But if I can get one, I'd probably get it, I don't know, somewhere...
You can't see, right?
You can't see. Only I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at the bottom of my feet or something. Like, if I want to see it, I'll be like, oh
my God, that would be so painful. Oof.
You just said it wasn't painful. Well, there we go. We're not getting one.
Oh my God. Okay. Next question. What's your spirit animal?
Oh, I would say probably a rabbit.
Oh, how come?
I read an article somewhere ages ago where they say that a rabbit can protect its owners.
Oh.
So it's actually not a very nice story that I read, but apparently, say if your house gets set on fire and you're sleeping and you're like deep sleep and you're not waking up, the rabbit will actually stomp his feet next to you to try and wake you up. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've read. So
oh, that's cute.
I think for me.
Oh, that's really cute. Mine will be a cat. The personality of a cat. I have the personality of a cat. You either love me or you don't. And there's a slight possibility I might kill you.
Depends on the mood.
Exactly. Okay, next question. What's the best gift you've ever received?
Best gift? Can I say my personality? Okay. It's a gift from my parents.
Okay, that is the best answer like I've ever heard in my entire life, and I'm keeping that. That is, oh my God, I'm stealing that. The next time somebody asks me, I'll be like, my personality. Yes, my personality. I love that. Oh my God, we're sticking with that. Okay, best gift you've ever given. My personality.
Exactly, to others, to everyone. Best gift.
Yeah, you've ever given.
I'm gonna repeat on my answer.
No, it's fine.
The cash that I gave to my parents.
Oh no, but that's still like the most wonderful gift, I think. Like I never actually even thought of that, you know. Like people, you know, you have these two people that have raised you, taking care of you, and then you then have the ability, not that they need it, but just to show your appreciation.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. Like I never thought of that way. That's really nice. Okay, next question. Pilates or yoga? I know you don't do it.
Do I have to pick one?
Yeah. So if you had to, like, let's say for instance, you couldn't like walk, you couldn't do anything that you usually do to stay toned, and you had to choose between Pilates or yoga. Have you actually ever tried them?
I've tried yoga. Okay. I've not tried Pilates. But I would probably say Pilates because I've not tried it, and a lot of people are recommending it. Yes. So
it's the best.
Pilates.
Yeah, Pilates is much better. Yoga is, I just find it so boring, and I'm not flexible. So it's just like lose-lose.
I mean, for me, I prefer things that are fast-paced.
Yeah.
Like with like beats and music.
Exactly.
Or whatever, but
exactly. You know what I read the other day? Actually, I didn't read it. I watched it. So in New York, no, actually in the States, what they have now is like Pilates, but with like trap music. So like hip-hop, but trap.
Nice.
That's what they're doing to get the adrenaline like pumping. But because usually like Pilates is like soft-ish. It's still like soft.
It's
so quite interesting. So for all the Pilates people out there, try trap music with your Pilates. Next question, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Really? You're not a coffee drinker?
I am. I'm both. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick, but I pick tea because I love bubble tea. Oh. It has to have bubbles.
Okay. You know, I've still yet to try bubble tea.
I'll order you one. Later. I'll order you one.
You see, I don't want to get addicted. I think that's why I haven't tried it, because I have a very addictive personality. If I try something and I really like it, that's it.
It's difficult because whether you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the bubble texture.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll test it out.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
I think you were going to side eye, like roll me. Like, how can you ask? You know why I asked? Because like there's somebody that I sort of started working with recently, about 8-9 months ago, and she prefers the cold. But I don't know whether it's just because she's from Argentina, but she prefers like the cold, and I'm just like, why? No, summer, always.
I think it is difficult to answer because if I have to pick, I'd pick summer because of the sun and everything.
Agree.
But then if I'm in Asia, it doesn't really make too much of a difference because summer and winter, you get the same sunlight.
Yeah.
And then I would probably prefer winter then because summer is just too hot.
Oh yeah, that's actually true.
Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on where I am, but since I'm in the UK right now.
That's actually true. And also because summers here never get so hot where it's unbearable.
Yeah.
You know, we've never experienced 40 degrees here. So yeah. Okay, next question. If you're stuck on an island and can only pick one food to eat forever without getting tired of it, what would it be? What would you eat?
Sushi.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It's an island, so you get fresh fish.
Unlimited
fish supply.
That is very clever. You know what I was actually thinking? I was thinking tuna bagel sandwiches because that's all I eat.
Where
like every morning for breakfast. I don't know. From the delivery room.
My boat.
My canoe. No, but I love that response. Yeah, sushi, of course. Like sushi.
It's not too heavy. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, next question. A dessert you don't like? I know what mine is. I don't like it because it's too sweet and it's just weird.
A dessert I don't like.
Yeah. Mine is rice pudding. Don't like it. Is that a dessert? Okay.
What don't I like? I would say pound cake.
Ooh.
It's too heavy for you.
It is very heavy. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got two desserts that you don't like.
You see, the thing with pound cake, is that whenever I eat it, I'm reminded of when I was a student and I had no money.
Oh, okay.
So that's why, like, there's that sort of nostalgic feeling, like, that I get. But with rice pudding...
Is it the feeling or is it the cake?
That's actually true. But with rice pudding, it's just like, no. It's just no. Yeah. Okay. Song you can listen to on repeat.
Song I could listen to.
On repeat. Over and over and over and over again.
Mamma Mia.
Oh,
by ABBA.
Nice.
It's got my name in it.
Your responses are fabulous. I love that. Oh my god. What is a song that has toffee in it? Toffee. Oh, I need to research.
You could create one.
I could create one. Imagine me singing. Mia has a great singing voice, by the way. I sound like a cat being drowned. We went to do karaoke once and I heard your voice for the first time and I literally screamed because I just couldn't believe how beautiful your voice is. Crazy. Thank you. You should record something.
Thank you.
Not too late. Okay, if you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would it be?
It would be you. Let me give a reason.
Okay.
I think it takes courage to kind of leave a career that you've been doing for so long.
Yeah.
To pursue something that you love doing.
Yeah.
And start something so creative.
Yeah.
And I feel like I probably don't have that courage to do it anytime.
Yeah.
And I just kind of would be interested to see what it feels like as well.
Panic.
Yeah, well, different kind of panic.
Oh my gosh, I love that though. Okay. What are 3 things you couldn't live without?
I couldn't live without.
Mm-hmm. Just 3 things. What do you mean?
Sleep.
Oh yeah, you said it already. Sleep, food.
And 3 things. My family and friends. Does that count as one?
No, relationships.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet.
That's all you need.
Agreed. I completely agree. Okay, what's the best thing? And this is the last question, by the way.
Okay.
What's the best thing that's happened this year so far?
Why do you leave the hardest question last? Always. Best thing that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Disney.
Ooh.
I went to Disney in January.
When you went to Paris?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, lovely.
It was really nice.
Did you meet Mickey Mouse?
No, I didn't actually.
Aww.
But I did meet a lot of other
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey. Honestly, the first and only time I met Mickey, I literally cried. I couldn't believe it. To me, it's not a character. That was Mickey Mouse. I met Mickey Mouse. Like, literally, I was there. All my teeth was on display. I was shiny, as hell. And I was just there like, oh my God, Mickey. But Mickey was a bit of a pervert. Yeah, he groped my sister's boobs. Yeah. So there you have it.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
But that's what happened. Like, seriously, it was just so shocking. But yeah, but nonetheless, it was so great seeing Mickey in person. But yeah, Mia, you've been fabulous. I loved your responses.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia Chen, and I'm with AJOSEPO, filming What's in My Bag. So I have a Snoopy bag. This was actually a free gift when I went back to Taiwan last year. It's a little tote bag that I take with me when I go outside. And I don't have a lot of stuff in here, but tissues. I have to have tissues with me everywhere. Normal stuff. Wallet. It's got all the cards in. I actually use this as a work bag sometimes, so it does still have some of my work stuff in. So I've got my work phone. a little notepad that I write what I need to do every morning. It says, I am okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Kind of like a little quote that I tell myself every day. Yeah, I have a little Kindle. Sometimes I read this when I'm alone and don't know what else to do. That's why I read. I have a claw clip because my hair is very, very long right now, and sometimes it's very difficult. It gets everywhere, so. And I have my little key bag. It's got keys in it. Because it scratches everything inside the bag, so I do put it in a little pouch just to protect my phone and everything else that's precious. And I also have another little bag. It contains all the essentials, like a hair bubble in case I forget my claw clip, and just some like lip balms, very important, and some medicine, which just in case I feel sick on the day. But yeah, little medicine pouch or whatever you want to call it. And because I like bubble tea, this is a little bag where you can carry your bubble tea inside it, so I don't have to hold it all the time. I can just carry it like a little bag. It's Snoopy as well. And some other random stuff. So hand sanitizer. I always keep this with me after COVID, just so that my hands are always clean. Some other lip products. My lips get very dry. And last stuff. AirPods. I listen to music and Spotify everywhere I go. And eye drops because I wear contacts. So yeah, that's it.